Okay, let's see what happens here now. All right, so we're back. Okay, so it looks like we got it fixed now. That was really weird. So we basically got to do this all over again. But that's okay. We were just kind of chewing the fat a little bit. All right, so we're good now. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? You're checking out the RCWR show. For those of you that patiently were sitting through the first 10 minutes of the show, all the technical problems have been squashed. We're good now. This is your WWE CLASH of Champions Gold Rush 2020 pay-per-view recap review show. Great being back with you guys once again. Y'all have not seen me in the flesh if you've been checking out at least the webcast shows. The last webcast show I did for you guys was actually it wasn't even last Monday. It was actually the Monday before. I actually off the fly had released an audio version of the RCWR show last Sunday. And then I released the audio, call that Match Edition for Clash of Champions Friday night going into Saturday. So I've been busy taking care of some personal stuff, work, you know how it is. But happy to be back. Things are now, as far as regular schedule go, when you guys are going to be seeing me on the air, we're back to normal now. Appreciate y'all. I miss you guys tremendously. Miss talking wrestling and everything with you guys. So I got a poll on Twitter and on YouTube. I want to know, what did you think about Clash of Champions tonight? Sound off, let me know. You can head on over to youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the communities tab. Vote that way. Or if you got the Twitter, head over to Twitter. Give me a follow over there as well at the RCWR show. You can cast your vote over there as well. I want to know, what did you guys think about overall the pay-per-view? But can we talk about Roman Reigns? How about that sexy beast, Roman Reigns? Good God almighty. Man, I am more than willing to give a man his props. And I have from time to time. If I've seen a good-looking, jacked-up, beefy-looking dude, I have just, without giving a fuck, hey, don't take this the wrong way. You're a good-looking dude. You're pretty jacked, man. How often you work out? I mean, I will go there. I don't give a fuck. I will fucking go there. I'll never forget one of the last times I had dropped a line like that. There was a guy walking with his girlfriend. And at the time, I was doing security. And he was the guy must have been at least 6'11". I bullshit you not, he was at least 6'11". Looked as if he was packing at least maybe about 280. Muscles out the ass and everything. And I said to him, "God damn, Chief. Yeah, hey, don't take this the wrong way. I know you're with your woman there. You know, she's a cutie." I was like, "But damn, Chief, you're pretty damn jacked. How often you work out?" And he blushed like a motherfucker. I guess because he wasn't used to another guy complimenting him like that. And he was like, stop. It's like, thank you, but nah, it's nothing. I just like to work out. I just like to lift weights. I said, shit, you think? Like, how often do you lift weights and all that other shit? Roman looked pretty damn good, did he not? Did he not look fucking good? Good God almighty, dude looks stacked. Now, some people may say, big deal. He came out without a vest. I will say this to you guys. If you're familiar with FCW, the early days of NXT, and you were fortunate enough to see Roman Reigns pretty much do his thing through there, then you're going, it's about damn time, because honestly, he should have ditched the vest a long time ago. Now, I'm actually one of the rare few that could say, hey, not for nothing, but tail end of, before NXT really got the revamp under Triple H and everything, I can remember seeing a few matches here and there with Roman Reigns just pushing the trunks, the boots, all that good stuff. So for me, knowing how that, particularly the upper physique was, my whole thing was, yeah, we need to see this man come up out of that vest. What's going on with that? And if you listen to the Call That Match edition for Clash of Champions, it's an audio version only available wherever you get your podcast. I released it over the weekend. And I did pretty good, actually, as far as match predictions go. I even said on the match predictions joint, I said if there's one joint I'm looking at as far as the match that's going to be your swerve, a guaranteed swerve, I looked at particularly the IC title match, the triple threat joint ladder match. That's the one I said, there's your swerve right there. If you're really resting on Hardy for the retain, nah, I have a strong feeling as far as a title switch goes, that's the match. That's the one and only match of the whole card I looked at. You're definitely going to get a new champion. So I actually did pretty damn good tonight. But I had said on the match prediction special, I said, isn't it weird that as long as we've seen Roman Reigns on the main roster, we've never seen him come up out of that vest. Even when he had that feud going on with Baron Corbin. Think about that last feud that was going on between Roman and Baron Corbin. Remember when Roman was handcuffed to the ropes and Baron Corbin was feeding him dog food and all that? Again, I talked about all of this on the Call That Match joint. But I brought up the fact that, man, if there was ever a time to just rip the vest off of somebody, this is my whole thing. I just got to have that mentality for a second as a heel wrestler. Or just stay with me a second. If I'm fighting a guy like Roman Reigns, and I'm really trying to lay it in heavy, I want to go in thick on this guy. I want to beat this guy senseless. I really want this man to feel me. Okay? I want him to feel me. I'm going to do everything I can in my power, within reason, because I ain't trying to get the DQ. I want the bragging rights of being one of those few guys that defeated Roman Reigns straight up in a singles match. If I can, I'm going to take that fucking vest off, and I'm going to hurt that body. I'm going to hurt that body bad. And it just amazes me, for as long as Roman's been up on the main roster, we've never seen that vest come off. Rey Mysterio can have his battle damaged Spider-Man moments and have his freaking mask is coming all off and everything. We can see all that go down. We can see Jeff Hardy with the makeup. We could see Finn Balor with the makeup starting to come off and everything. We can see all these cool things going on. But despite all of those cool things, you can think of some more great scenarios to match what I'm talking about. We've never seen that vest of Roman Reigns come off during a match. And so for me, I just thought, about damn time. About damn time we got to see Roman without the vest. About damn time. Hey, if you guys had missed it, here's something that'll kind of whet your appetite a little bit, at least until you can see some more picks, at least courtesy of WWE.com. But that'll kind of whet your appetites there. I know everybody's picking on my man for getting new teeth. We talked about that several weeks ago. I'm not even going to get into that whole spiel. If that's what the man wants to do with his money and his personal time off, that's his freaking business. That ain't none of our business. All I care about, him and his family is good, and he's entertaining and kicking ass in the ring. And that's exactly what they did tonight. I got to give mad props really to all the men and the women, because it seemed as though tonight they really were trying to bring that energy. Top to bottom, I really did not have too much of a problem with the match card. I really didn't. And again, going back to the Call That Match edition, I said, look, WWE has to bring it on Clash tonight, because there was a lot of competition for those key demographics that WWE loves so much. Sunday Night Football. You also got NBA playoffs. So that was some serious competition that they were dealing with there. Serious competition. So I definitely think it helped them tremendously that they got the start on the pay-per-view at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I thought that was pretty badass. So the kickoff actually went down at 6 p.m. And, before we dive into all that, let's we'll work our way to the top, bottom, all that good stuff. But let's talk about that last burning image that we saw there. Roman Reigns defeating Jey Uso. Anybody that had honestly believed and picked Jey Uso to walk out of that as the new Universal Champion, you're either extremely young, maybe younger than 13 or 12, or you are just that gullible, that naive. I'm not bashing. But this was a case right here where I think it was pretty unanimous, no matter who you spoke to. Oh, Roman's got that. The real question was, how medieval on Jey Uso's ass was Roman Reigns going to get? What level of heelism, that's the word we'll make for tonight, what level of heelism was Roman going to go in this new chapter of his career? You know, how far was he going to take it? That was the question that we really had on our minds, and WWE did a phenomenal job in the way that this match was booked and in addressing that. To have Roman Reigns out there, I mean, we've seen it over the course of the past several weeks since he's been back. He's been talking a little shit here and there, but man, was talking mad shit tonight. You should have just taken this payday, Oos. Would have been easy money for you. All you had to do is just lay down. Easiest money you ever made. I mean, saying stuff like that every now and then, did it more than once, mind you. Go back if you watched it the first time. Go back now that I've said this and peep it out the second time. Many times he's checking out his abs. He's actually looking at it and wiping himself off, trying to make sure he's still perfection. He's checking his arms and he's doing a little, the hell is that? Oh, it looks like a piece of hair, not mine. Ugh. And he's doing a little prima donna stuff there. I'm loving this. I'm eating this shit up. I'm going, yes, I love this. This is exactly what I've been wanting to see for quite some time. Now, see, here's the thing. Unlike some of my colleagues, and I'm not singling anybody out, I'm not throwing hate towards anybody. You longtime listeners can definitely back me up on this. Unlike some of my colleagues out there that would spend a whole hour bashing Roman Reigns, especially back in the heyday when it was the Roman Reigns show, I didn't follow in those footsteps. Again, longtime listeners can back me up on this. I always have given Roman Reigns praise where praise needs to be given. Giving him his praise as a locker room leader, but most importantly, giving him his praise as a guy that can go in there night in, night out and deliver solid matches. And I've always said, y'all know this, again, you've been checking me out for a while. I've always said about Roman Reigns, hey, this is a guy, if you got Roman Reigns on the card, no matter who he's fighting, if he's in there, he's involved in that match, that guy's definitely going to deliver for you at least a 3.5 out of a 5-star match. That's what he's always going to give you. Rare occasions, many occasions, he'll give you a 4-star match. Tonight, I think it was more heavy on the storytelling between he and Jey Uso that I think myself and many fans really relished in. But many colleagues over the years, my God, to mention just some of the names of the shows that were spending an hour or just 2 hours bashing Roman Reigns, having callers call into the show bashing Roman Reigns, never did any of that. I said early on, look, this is the route that they want to go. They want to go the route with babyface Roman Reigns. They want that new successor for John Cena. Nothing wrong with that. Merchandise pusher, nothing wrong with that. And I always made the argument, okay, well, if we're going to go the instant gratification route and wham, we're going to make Roman Reigns that heel. Okay, well then, who do you have replace Roman as that babyface merchandise pusher? Who because you can't just. And on top of all of that, I also said, in addition, when the trigger finally does get pulled, and it will happen, I said it off and on over the years. I said, when it does happen, everybody is going to rejoice. And I think what we've been seeing the past several weeks has been very promising, but definitely with what we saw tonight is going to have those same people who, if you want to call them hypocrites, that's you. Me personally, I'm just over here. I'm drinking my Kool-Aid. I'm minding my business. I'm just doing me. That's all I'm doing. But great storytelling in this match. Jey Uso continuing to get that ass whoop. In a couple of moments there, it was looking as though, my God, this kid, he could pull the offset. I mean, once again, and if I were to just with regards to WWE for 2020, they have gone to the well a couple of times for the Rocky story. They have gone a couple of times there to the well for the Rocky story. And there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, we love that underdog. Do we not? We love that underdog. Even when we were, not to just spam all out on NBA, but even when it came to the Clippers, the Nuggets, we're going, oh man, these are some great teams, man, great teams. You had people that were, don't want to see LeBron in the Lakers. Yeah, it sucks what happened with Kobe, but don't want to see, no. Yeah, a lot of people were rooting for those underdogs, man. Well, if there's ever a team that has great odds at defeating the Lakers and going to the NBA Finals, taking that throne away from them and everything. Oh, it's this team, and everybody likes a good underdog. Jey Uso in this match tonight, man. For me, yeah, look, Jey Uso didn't win. The title, that is. But you know what he did win? Man, he won that respect. I would love to believe, and I would be shocked if he did not, but I would like to believe that he won the respect of the fans all over the world because he took that game of his to that next level. And look, I don't know what the future holds for Jey Uso as far as if eventually he can become a world heavyweight champion, but he definitely proved on this night that he definitely deserves to continue to embark on that singles path. I personally feel so. United States champion, Intercontinental champion, bring it on. Bring it freaking on. Loved it. And it was so refreshing too, because when you really stop and think about it, for as long as we've seen the Usos in the WWE there, all we've known of the Usos is tag team action. That's it. So to get something pretty fresh, that's also a rarity like what we got tonight, I'll take it. I'll take it. Hats off to both of those men. Even the spot there with Charles Robinson, and Charles Robinson, he's looking at what's going on and he's thinking about stopping the match. Even Roman Reigns, that little thing there where Roman Reigns stops Charles Robinson and says to him, you know how long I have been beating his ass like this? Since we were kids. This ain't nothing. You ain't seen nothing. Mind your business. Mind your place. I just loved all that trash talking. Call me. Acknowledge me your tribal chief. Acknowledge me as your tribal chief. That was just the tipping of the iceberg there. It's like, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Then to see the other Uso Jimmy. To see Jimmy come out. It's like, hey, Jimmy, we haven't seen you in a good minute. How you been, bro? To see Jimmy come out with the white towel and you're just going, Rocky, here it go. And you're just saying to yourself, there's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home. Know your Rocky, know your soundtracks. That just feels like, oh man, this is getting okay. Liking this. So things are slowly turning in such fashion now where we get this Roman Reigns that is just stopping to no end to show his dominance, to show his reign of supremacy at the table, as the head of the table, particularly for his family and everything. Everything has really gone to this guy's head. You can't help but say to yourself, so where does this end exactly? Oh, baby, we're just getting started. We're just getting started with this. Like I said on the match predictions joint, look, I hope we can get to WrestleMania. I hope we can get to WrestleMania with at least 25 to 50% of a crowd. That's just me, wishful thinking. Safety precautions and all that, of course, wishful thinking. But if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is interested in working with Roman Reigns, I'm telling you guys, the storyline is there as far as how everything can. And look, I don't want to spend several minutes going over that. I talked about the angle, how they can get there at great length on the Call That Match prediction special. It's an audio version. Please Go out of your way, check it out right after you get done with this. And who knows, maybe later on in the week, maybe I'll put up that whole Roman Reigns, The Rock little angle. Maybe I'll put just the excerpt of that up on the YouTube and all that. But hats off to both of those guys. So that match, pretty much, you know, when it was all said and done, eventually Charles Robinson called the match off. He deemed that Jey Uso couldn't continue. You know, so it was like, so he had no choice. He had no choice. Would have been nice to see Roman Reigns kind of kirk out a little bit over that, but, you know, it is what it is. However, Roman did get his props, as Jimmy Uso said to Roman, look, you know, you're the chief. You're the chief. You're the shit. You're our daddy. I mean, who's your daddy at the end of the day? Who's your daddy? You know, you the man. You got the juice now, brother. If y'all remember that movie Juice, you got the juice now. So, but it's not going to end there. I mean, we're just getting started with this. We're just getting started to this. There's so many layers to this. It's not even funny. I tell you what really had me laughing my ass off, though, seeing when Jey Uso did the Uso splash from the top rope, goes for the cover, 1, 2, Roman kicks out. But it was the way Roman kicked out that just had you go, I know my man didn't just do that. As he kicked out, he takes his left arm and he pretty much just low blows the shit out of Jey Uso while the referee's on the other side counting. And you got Michael Cole in them. They're going, wait a minute, what did we just see there? Kick out, right? You got Corey Graves. He's kind of quiet for a little bit. He's going, nah, I don't think that was as clear cut of a kick out as when they showed the instant replay you see. And I think it was Michael Cole, or maybe it was Corey. I got it mixed up, but one of them had said, surely that was unintentional. And then you get a nice close up on Roman Reigns' face as he's just cheesing his ass off with those nice pretty teeth. And you're going, and I'm not mocking him for his teeth. I think teeth are the most important feature on your entire body. Everybody's got different economic situations. But if you got the money and you can go talk to Invisalign, you can get some braces or whatever, do what you got to do, man, because take care of it now. You won't have to worry about it later because it gets even more expensive and it's a bitch and all of that shit the longer you procrastinate and everything. But just all of those little nuisances that was going on in this match tonight just overall really made me come away and appreciate the continuing developments that we got going on there with Roman Reigns. But good match between both of those guys. Shout out to Roman particularly for really trying to help Jey Uso in elevating him even more, getting him to that next tier level of being more than just a tag team specialist. Good shit right there. So let's talk about kickoff. A lot of shake up. Cue the car song. Shake it up. Shake it up. A lot of shaking up had went down. So I missed the first 16 to 20 minutes of kickoff. I actually, I get older. I like going in for that old man nap. And I had my cute little furry daughter, my little pickamees, in the bed with me, waiting on the missus to come home because she was taking care of some personal errands this whole weekend. More on that on Monday's show. But, I got in my little nap. I'm going, okay, wake up at 7. I'll be ready to go. Check out kickoff. I'm ready to go. Some weird reason, I wake up almost 20 minutes past 6. And I'm going, oh, get on my phone. Next thing I know, I see the joint for kickoff. I'm going, oh shit, kickoff's on. Okay, so the pay-per-view's coming on at 7. Okay, cool. So I missed the first 16 to 20 minutes of kickoff. And I bring that up because some matches were called off from tonight's Clash of Champions. So, first off, Nia Jax teaming up with Shayna Baszler, taking on the Riot Squad. Yeah, that match, that got called off. Nikki Cross, not medically cleared for the show. Charlie Caruso had confirmed all of this during kickoff. Again, WWE confirmed 2 matches were off at Clash of Champions. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler taking on the Riot Squad. That was called off. Nikki Cross, not medically cleared, so that match that she had against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title, yeah, you can pretty much forget that. Not happening. So, of course, you hear that and you're going, so what exactly is going on here? You know, why are these matches being called off? What the fuck? Now, with regards to Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax had put out a tweet shortly after this announcement on kickoff and everything, and I'm pulling this up for you guys that's watching the web stream for you guys to see. And for those of you that are going to be checking out the audio version of the show, Nia Jax, the tweet that she put out, she quoted WWE on Fox, which had said, breaking news, Nia Jax, Nikki Cross have not been medically cleared to compete tonight at Clash of Champions. So Nia Jax quoted that and said lies, and then she followed it up with another tweet and said, my tag partner is expecting, and she has a woman that's pregnant showing off her belly emoji. So this had a lot of people going, WTF, you know, what the fuck? And so, look, we know how vocal Nia Jax has been over the years about whenever she feels there is some type of miscategorization, you know, about her, or, you know, something that just ruffles her the wrong way that a fan is saying about a particular superstar. She is one of those individuals that will not be intimidated by no one. And she's at a point where, you know what, I don't even care really who my employer is. If I feel that I'm in the right, if I feel I'm speaking nothing but the truth, and I can back it up by showing examples of the truth, then I'm going to always speak my mind. I mean, we still remember, what was it, the Photoshop joint that they did of her a couple of weeks ago, and she was very vocal about that. They should have never done that. And if they were going to do something like that, out of courtesy, they could have at least private messaged her and said, hey, look, these are some of the promotional materials we're thinking about running, blah, 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 blah. You know, here's some with you in it. What do you think? You good with this? You know, let us know. What, you know, what's your thoughts? They could have at least run it by her and everything, but they didn't. It is what it is. But she's always been one to be very vocal. Hell, I still remember most recently when Triple H commented on the whole Velveteen Dream accusations and everything. Nia Jax quoted whatever that Triple H quote was, where he basically said something along the lines of, hey, you know, we didn't find anything, blah, 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 blah. And she puts out these laughing emojis and everything. So it was left to your own interpretation. Okay, so is this her way of kind of mocking the whole process that WWE does? There is no process. You know, what exactly is going on? Be a fly on the wall. Penny for your thoughts right there, Nia. So I would imagine that a lot of people are going to be looking at what she said here about Shayna Baszler, and they're going to be going, okay, so she's working us, right? She's working the people. Shayna Baszler isn't really pregnant, right? I mean, surely she's not pregnant. Well, I don't know if it really helps you guys out. I don't know how many of you guys were aware of this, but at about 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon, Shayna Baszler on her Instagram account, she had, and you can see this for yourself, she put out an image of the costume she was going to be wearing in her match with Nia Jax tonight. And it was a nice little tease. You didn't get the full-blown attire, but what she did say with regards to that photo, she was paying homage to the Vikings for picking up a W or something along those lines, but it had something to do with the Vikings. And it was pretty badass. Definitely had looked a bit purplish from what I can recall. It had the gold Queen of Spades symbol. It had 1980 on it as well. So for all intents and purposes, she definitely was going to be going out there and she was going to be wrestling. So look, as far as, you know, if you ask me straight up, Lee, is she pregnant? I don't think so. I don't think she's pregnant. I think that this is just Nia Jax's way of this is just Nia Jax's way of just trying to put one over on the fans, have a little bit of fun, get people talking and everything, because at the end of the day, I think y'all would have to admit it's quite funny seeing some of these dirt sheets, these websites run with stuff that, oh yeah, this is news. One thing that stands to my mind, and we'll talk about it more on Monday's show, because like I said, I haven't really gotten a chance to talk about some of the things that transpired since last I was officially live on the air with you guys. But look at the stuff there with Melina. Look at the stuff there with Melina. That's a great example. That's a great freaking example of dirt sheets and websites that think they have a story, but then when you hear it straight from the horse's mouth, no, that actually isn't the case at all. Here's what's really going down. Rather than, we need to issue an apology to, take self-accountability. That's something that we've always talked about on the show. And that's a word that I've said repeatedly in 2020, self-accountability there. And you see it all the time. So I wouldn't put it past Nia to just be playing folks a little bit, playing the dirt sheets, because she knows they're going to go run tell that, and it's going to be a big old joke in their face and everything. But what I do want to put the spotlight on is something a bit more concerning that I personally feel. I mean, look, you hear that Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, okay, not cleared. You hear Nikki Cross, not cleared. You're going, okay, so case of the COVID? Is that really what's going on here? Is this a case of the COVID? And this is where I give promotions like Impact Wrestling, AEW. They're the ones that really, really shine out to me the most. They are so transparent. If a wrestler of theirs has come down, or even somebody in management, but mainly the wrestling talents, if somebody has come down with the COVID, they're very transparent about it. Very transparent about it. Right down to the point, live on the air, all about it. Especially if there was a match that was supposed to be coming up, but sadly the card had got changed, because look at what went down with Moxley. Moxley taking on, what was it, Lance Archer? I can't remember the pay-per-view now, but the original pay-per-view that they were supposed to be fighting at. But look at that. That's a really great example of that. And how they were so open about it and everything. Yeah, I wish WWE would just embrace it. They act as if you come down with the COVID, they're acting as if it's AIDS or some shit. I mean, really, stop and think about it. They're acting as if it's fucking AIDS. And we don't say that word. Man, we can't say that because that's a taboo. Just go ahead and fucking own it. Now, more than ever, we as a society, we love that transparency. We love that honesty. We are in a position right now, not getting too philosophical, keeping it very well grounded, definitely wrestling related still, but, we want that honesty. We want that transparency. If there is some stuff that, we'll give it to us straight. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't beat around the bush. Let us know right now. What do we got to prepare for? As long as we know what's going on, okay, we'll do what we got to do. And I just wish WWE would have that mentality. Now look, we've heard from Renee Young, and I still think that was pretty fucked up how nobody in WWE reached out to Renee Young, not even Vinnie Mac. Hey, girl, how you been? Nothing. Nobody reached out to her after she made the announcement that she had COVID. And you're going, damn, this is how you do essentially your Bob Costas of, I won't say Bob Costas. Renee Young. You know who she reminded me a lot of. Just the way she was breaking stuff down there for WWE and everything. And I checked out a little bit of what she was doing in Canada as well before she came to WWE. But you know who she reminded me of there? And I love this woman tremendously. And if you're an NBA fan, you know exactly the person I'm getting ready to say. Doris Burke. Fucking Doris Burke. Yeah, there's shades of just the way Renee Young puts some things out. I'm not saying, like, out of 100%, I see about almost 70%. Just the way she executes things. Kind of has like a nice little Doris Burke approach to it and everything. But, like, you hear all that, and other stars have jumped out there. Yeah, look, I came down with it, and WWE, no, we got to keep that on the Why? Fucking why? Look, if you're gonna, WWE, if you're gonna act one way about something, then my whole thing is be consistent. To my point. So if somebody violates the wellness policy, well then don't fucking mention the wellness policy. Don't mention whatever stars have violated the wellness policy. Every single time a wrestler on the WWE roster gets in trouble with the law, don't even mention it. I mean, unless it's a case where they're an axe murderer or some stupid shit like that, well, obviously you're going to have to put out some type of a statement. But, if you're going to act one way, be consistent. That's just my whole thing. Don't cherry pick what you will and will not talk about openly on your shows, on social media, etc. That's my whole thing. I don't mean to get all deep into that. I'm going to leave that alone. We'll get back to the rest of the card and everything. But, everybody has their own opinions about how Vince operates and everything like that. But I think we all could just, honestly, let's just end it with this and get back to the card. We all can agree that for these talents that tonight could not appear on this show, for any talents and managers, just etc., whatever was going on with them, if it was COVID related, I just don't understand for the love of me why you just can't embrace it. And if anything, stress the importance of, hey folks, what's going on right now, it's no joke. That's why I respect the hell out of what AEW and what Impact does. They embrace it. Hey folks, we're going through this just like you. Please remember, continue your practicing safe social distancing, blah, 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 wear your mask, blah, blah, blah. We're sitting as close as we are together because we all had the same tests, and, this bracelet is for this test, and this was for this, and this was for this. There's no way we can get any of these without blah, 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 blah. That's why we're sitting together, da, 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 da. Embrace it. You're good enough. Riddle me this. WWE is good enough to sell you the face mask, the little COVID mask. They're willing to sell that on their WWE shop. I don't know how long it's been for many of you that have not gone to a WWE shop, but they're selling these masks, these COVID masks that's WWE superstars inspired. All right, so you're good enough to do that, but you're not good enough for, I don't know, to each its own, but that's just kind of crazy for me. All right, let's get to the rest of this. So obviously those matches changed up big time. We would see what had came about on the actual card itself. Let's go to the actual card. So kicking things off, we had the ladder match, the triple threat match. Try saying that 3 times fast. The triple threat ladder match. Jeff Hardy defending his IC title against AJ Styles and the uncrowned. Actually, no, he's not really uncrowned. He's actually, well, he's Sami Zayn, but no, we could put some respect on that name. He's the guy that never lost the IC title. He was the unbeaten champion Sami Zayn. So we have this triple threat match. I gotta give my hats off to all of those guys. Great fucking match. Great opener. That was very smart how they went about the order of this card tonight. To have things open up for the IC title, I thought it was brilliant. Sami Zayn, man, I tell you what, Sami Zayn is going to be feeling it in the morning because he took a nasty ass spot at one point. I mean, all throughout the match. I mean, he was taking a serious ass whooping. And then at one point, they got a close up on his back. And I just want to pull this up for you guys. Look at that. Look at those welts, man. I mean, you just looked at that and you go, ooh. He is going to be feeling it big time. After that adrenaline comes down a bit, you know, and he has that nice ice tub bath or whatever the fuck he does to try to mellow out. When he wakes up in the morning, ooh, he is really, really going to be fucking feeling it. My respects, my hats off to that man, because he was taking a ass whooping. I love the psychology of this match, particularly towards the end, in setting up Sami Zayn as the new, I hate to say that, but we have to in this case, as the new IC champion. I've seen a lot over the years. I've seen a lot of crazy shit in wrestling. But if you were to tell me I would see somebody, Sami Zayn, take a pair of handcuffs and put one handcuff, the loop and all that, through somebody's ear and hook that son of a bitch to a ladder, I would say two things. That's some innovative sick shit. Two, may I please see that? And that's exactly what Sami Zayn did to Jeff Hardy. I ate that shit up. That was just like, are you serious? Like, well, that's one way to sideline the competition. That's one way to temporarily take out your adversary so you can kind of have a better shot at getting your title there. So it ended up being between he and AJ Styles. They're fighting and everything. Sami Zayn gets the idea, okay, well, you know what? I got another set of handcuffs. All I got to do now is just handcuff AJ Styles. And if I can somehow handcuff him to the ladder, well, then hell, my problem is solved, and then it's just clear sailing from there. I'll be all right. So you're seeing AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, they're duking it out on the ladder as they're climbing it and everything. Don't ask me how. Please don't ask me how. Somehow, though, Jeff Hardy, handcuffed to this ladder through his ear or whatever, somehow Jeff Hardy gets his ass in the ring. And you're just going, wait a minute here. Like, what the fuck? So now you've got Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles. They're going at it. Sami Zayn is the guy that, you remember, has the key to these handcuffs. So what does Sami Zayn do? Sami Zayn, okay, you know what? These guys are obviously distracted. He somehow, because if I remember it right, what should have been Sami Zayn handcuffing AJ to the ladder, I think somehow the tides got turned. AJ was kind of realizing what Sami Zayn was trying to do. They're duking it out, and now both of them were handcuffed to each other. Kind of reminded me of a good old episode of The Honeymooners, and I think the Flintstones even tried to pull a page out of that book as well, if I remember it right. You gotta forgive me on those references. I've been watching a lot of those shows on MeTV. Finally got up to the Flintstone season where they had Gazoo. I didn't like Gazoo as a little kid, but now that I've been watching these episodes, it's like, Gazoo wasn't that bad. It just sucks that it ended. I think Flintstones got canceled, but it sucks because now it's okay. Well, did he ever make it home? So I guess if you're a big Flintstones fan, let me know if they did a follow-up in maybe a movie or whatever about Gazoo, because now I'm curious if Gazoo ever finally found his way back home. Anyway, That's just how it works here, guys. Whatever comes to mind. You got to bear with me. Anyway, so Sami Zayn, you know, he's seeing all this action that's going on between Jeff Hardy and freaking AJ Styles. So while they're fighting, he pretty much, I got the key. Key was in his mouth apparently the whole time. Takes the key out, uncuffs himself. These guys are continuing to fight it out, duke it out, and all that. Sami Zayn takes advantage of the distractions, and he becomes your new Intercontinental Champion. Look, as I said on the prediction special, Sami Zayn needed this. He needed to become the IC champion. He needed to have some type of relevance. He needed to have justification for being out there every single week, rubbing something in the people's face. That's what Sami Zayn does best. This incarnation of Sami Zayn, that's what he does best, is dangling something in your face and showing you why he's better than you. Not just intellectually, you know, not just from an in-ring standpoint, just all around. He needs something to show you why he's the shit. And he also happens to be that guy you just want to see get his ass kicked. You want to see that good baby face. And as I've always said on the show, sometimes the chase is better than the catch. You want to see that ultimate baby face chase after Sami Zayn. So I think WWE, smart booking right here, that they went with Sami Zayn for the W. He's the fresher guy. He just came back. He's pretty well rested and everything. Boy, I tell you what though, did he come back with a vengeance or did he not come back with a vengeance? Just physically, the ass kicking that he took tonight. Mad props to him. All those guys, they really brought it, but Sami Zayn just, you know, sometimes I forget, you know, just how hardcore my man was before coming to the WWE. So you got to forgive me if I, on a rare instance, you know what? Let me give my man Sami Zayn some love here. And that's definitely what I want to do tonight. Hats off to all of them, but particularly Sami Zayn. All right, next up, talk about our next matchup here. What we got on the card here? What was our next matchup after this? I'm trying to think. Was it the Street Profits that was next up on this card here? Let's look at this here. I think it was. Let me just look this up here. I lost my notes that quick, so I got it loading up as we speak. Yeah, it looks like the next match was actually Asuka taking on Zelena Vega for the Raw Women's Championship. This match kicked in grand total almost 7 minutes. Almost 7 minutes. I'm happy that Tiny V, that's what I'm calling her. You can take the V and you can run with whatever you think I'm talking about. But I'm calling her Tiny V. Don't ask me what the V stands for. That is you all's interpretation. That's the running gag. But that's my new name for Zelena Vega, is Tiny V. Asuka taking on Tiny V. I'm happy that Tiny V was able to showcase what she can do from a singles competitor standpoint. I really am. But as I said on the Call That Match predictions joint, I'm not spamming it out, so don't think I'm whoring it out just to be whoring it out. I'm not whoring it out. I'm just referencing. That's all I'm doing. My girl had no business being in the ring with Asuka. Not at this point. Not at this point. Not that fast. I'm all down for opportunities and all that good jazz, but let's build up. Let's build up to that point. That's my whole thing. And I went over how many singles matches Zelena Vega had since she's been part of the Raw roster. Again, since she's been part of the Raw roster, I talked about how many singles matches she had leading up to this match against Asuka. And let me tell you something off the break, without doing any research, you all. If you all don't know the number, when you hear the number, you guys will be shocked. And you'll even say, yeah, you know what? not that fast. Hell no, not that fast. She shouldn't be having this match. And, you know, I wish that after tonight we could say, okay, this is over. We're now on to greener pastures. I was right there with my brother-in-arms, Mish. Can we get back to Asuka feuding with Mickie James? Yeah, I second that emotion. Let's get back to that point. Man, not for nothing, you know, and it's so funny because so many people want to talk about, well, this person's this age and this person's that old and that person is like, age ain't nothing but a number. What counts is, what can you do in that ring? Can you still go? That's what matters the most. And it was funny because a lot of the people that were trying to take their shots at Mickie James and everything, you're like, okay, well, you do realize that as far as Asuka and Mickie James go, you know, they're not that old. Like, you know, I think maybe I can't remember who it is. I think Mickie maybe is beating Asuka by a couple of months or maybe a year. It's like, but like, seriously, like, we're really going to go there? And then not for nothing, but people, apparently, this is how you catch people. This is how you catch people, especially in the live. This is how you catch people. Yeah, I watch blah, blah, blah. I don't miss nothing, man. I'm watching it religiously every single week. I don't miss nothing. I watch all the pay-per-views. I don't miss a damn thing. I don't miss a damn thing. This is how you catch somebody in a lie. By the way, I am able to see what you guys are saying in the comment section. Sound off. Let me know what you had thought about the pay-per-view. I'll definitely put the spotlight on you guys and read you all's comments in a bit. But I am seeing what you guys are saying because I know we kind of had that issue for a couple of streams. And it's like, where's the comments? Where's the comments? Told you, I fixed everything tonight with the exception of YouTube. But I'm happy we got YouTube audience connected now. But this is how you catch people in a lie. Because anybody that knows a thing or two, well, wait a minute. Asuka had defended her NXT Women's title against Mickie James at that TakeOver Canada joint. And that was a damn good matchup. If you guys never saw that and you got the WWE Network, go out of your way, check it out. Maybe, you know, something I've been kind of toying around with, maybe what we could do is a watch along. And, you know, I know when it comes to actually showing the content, that's where things get very tricky. So maybe actually what we could do is a watch along, maybe in Discord, where you can actually watch the match, you know, matches with me, I should say, because I would be doing this more than once. But maybe we could do something in the Discord where I'm doing a watch along. You can watch along with me, and I'm giving my thoughts and all that as we're going through the match, watching it. But the audio is off for the wrestling match itself. Maybe we could kind of do something like that. That way, when we upload it to maybe YouTube and other platforms, we don't have to worry about any copyright issues and all that, because that's where things start to get very, very tricky. Because, you know, it's sad in 2020, you know, you got a lot of people that'll come on a platform like YouTube or Facebook. Where's the actual wrestling match? I want to see the actual wrestling match. And it's like, okay, we either gonna go on WWE's channel, or you go on their website, or you go on the network. Like, you know, that's a lot of red tape, man. That's how motherfuckers be getting in trouble and shit, man. But that was a good match that they had at that TakeOver Canada special. So for me, I remembered that vividly, and I was hoping that WWE would tell some really great storytelling building upon that. But they take this serious detour to Tiny V. She's very cute now. I love me some Tiny V. I love me some Tiny V. And you're like, what the fuck? You know, but I was happy that this match was as short as it was, because for me, if it went any longer than the time I had put out there, I think it honestly kind of would have been a joke. You know, she had no business being in that ring with Asuka, not at this juncture. Just when I thought, okay, we're done here. No, we gotta get post-match sportsmanship, basically. We gotta fucking get Asuka giving her thoughts on Tiny V. And then Tiny V, coming in there, doing the Japanese bow. The ultimate respect. Asuka trying to reciprocate. Zelena kicking. Where'd she kick her? I think she kicked Asuka in the kneecap or something, and then does a quick little beat down. You're going, oh joy. So these two aren't done just yet. Oh joy, oh joy, oh joy. I'm gonna say it again. Push Bianca Belair. God damn it. The girl's right there. Was tearing it up like a mofo down in NXT. What the hell is this new repackaged shit that we're doing with her? Where she is lifting weights and showing up dudes on... What the fuck is up with that? What's going on with that? I don't understand that. We're revamping the EST. The EST does not need any revamping whatsoever. Just follow up. She was basically rolling around in NXT like Trina. When Trina put out that first album, she was talking about how she was the baddest bitch. That's Bianca Belair. She's the baddest bitch. What more do you need to know? So, have her get back to her NXT basics. It can easily translate on the main roster, and it was. But it's coming off like there's too many cooks in the kitchen that honestly, we don't know what to do with her. But there's your next future women's champion waiting for you in the wings there. You can easily freaking build her up. And it's not like, she ain't got a really good track record, because you can see all of the great singles action that she had in NXT. The one argument and storyline that you could make for Bianca Belair, hey, when it counted the most, and she had those opportunities that came her way for fighting for the women's title, she always came up short. Like Damian Lillard, she always choked. You could always make that fucking argument. So, I mean, to just go completely left field and go with Tiny V, nothing personal against Tiny V. Again, paid attention to her work down there in TNA and everything. Good talent. Damn good talent. But I'm all about the storytelling, the building up to, okay, so this is how we got to here. We didn't just get here in 2 weeks. We got to this point. Like the slow build up there with Sasha Banks and Bayley. But Asuka retaining the Raw Women's title. Next up, Lashley successfully defending the United States Championship against Apollo Crews, winning by submission, putting on that full Nelson. Good. I'm tired of the Apollo Crews. I'm tired. You guys gotta forgive me. When I say I'm tired, I got plenty of energy. I feel great. I had a good nap, so I feel great. I'm just tired of the whole Apollo Crews, Ricochet. I'm just tired of that whole, hey, we remember what happened when you were with us, and we don't like how you left us. That's wrong, dog. That's wrong how you did us, man. We gonna show you. You don't do us like that. That's just wrong. Turning your back on us and going to the hurt business and trying to make all them dollar bills and trying to take your career to that next level. We had your back when it counted the most, but actually you get more money. We don't like that though, man. Yeah, we were your boys, man. How you gonna do us like that? Like, I'm sorry, but it just gets to a point where, dude, was I fucking either one of you that I wasn't even aware of? I'm sorry. Was I giving you a piece of my paycheck when I was getting paid twice by the WWE each month for the duration that we were a team? No. Are we married? No. Like, I don't owe you guys a goddamn thing. So y'all can continue to be butthurt all you want, But I'm over here pushing the Armani suits, driving them Jaguars, living in them nice high-ass condos, palatial estates up in Bel Air and all that. I'm eating fine food like caviar and champagne dreams and all that good jazz. I'm doing all that. Y'all keep tripping over the past. That's why y'all are where you are right now and where I am right now, because y'all keep focusing on the past. You need to be about the present and you need to be about the future. You feel me? I need for Apollo and Ricochet to just, because it's getting a bit redundant. They're starting to come off more like scorned lovers. Just let it go. Just let it go. I mean, you know, it's cute. It's like, but we need to let it go already. Because, I mean, unless Ricochet and Apollo Crews are going to add numbers to the mix. You know, her business is 4 guys now. Okay, so unless Ricochet and Apollo Crews is going to go out of their way to add some new guys to the whole mix, then only then is it going to be a fair fucking fight. So now, some of you may be saying, well, Lee, who could... I don't know what's going on with him physically. Last I heard, he was a backstage producer now, but Jason Jordan would be a good fucking runner up there to replace Cedric Alexander. He'd be a good runner up. I could even see, once this whole thing dies down with the Mysterio Rollins, I could even see Kid Mysterio Dominic. I could even see him be part of that. I think they would kind of click fairly well together. Just going over the rest of the roster, thinking about who else is on there. You know, someone that I think would probably do pretty damn good, giving them a nice rub off. You know, I just mentioned Dominic. Wouldn't be that bad to actually see Ray Ray with them as well. Ray and Dominic actually wouldn't be that bad to see them pair up. That'd be kind of cool as well. But let's take Ray out of the picture. Then you're left with those other names that I had talked about. I think the answer to this may come from the draft. Yes, the draft. We'll talk about the draft in a hot second. But see, do I have anything else I want to add to this matchup? No. Okay, matchup. I'm just personally tired of the whole, you hurt us, I want revenge. It's like, well, you ain't getting it, at least not for this quarter. So you better go try something else. You better go regroup, recalibrate, reconstruct, refigure, rewrite. You better go do something else, because it ain't working right now. Yeah, there's really nothing else to add to this one. Yeah. Lashley catches Crews with a choke slam, puts him in for the full Nelson. Gets a submission victory that way. Okay. It was okay. So we got a draft that's coming up. I don't know if you guys had heard about this. Pull up these images for you guys here. Peep this out. And we will be talking about the draft. I think we're going to do it as early as... I think we'll do it as early as Monday, honestly. We can do our own little mock draft, honestly. So peep this out. Friday, October 9th on Fox. It's the return. Night 1 of 2. Night 1 begins on SmackDown. It's the draft. Then it continues on the October 12th edition of Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. So maybe as far as some new blood, kind of helping out Ricochet, Crews with the Hurt Business, if that's the path that WWE wants to continue to take and all that, the draft may be the answer. We need this though. We need this. We need to inject some new blood here. We need to shake things up for this next little bit, because you look at most of this WWE card since the pandemic, and I'm sure you guys have noticed some of these feuds have been running much, much longer than needed. But we are going to do a mock draft segment on this Monday's RCWR show. So look forward to that. That's going to be good. I will definitely be kicking back between tonight and then. And I'll be going over the entire roster. And that should be a lot of fun. By the way, for those of you wondering that did not watch the pay-per-view, hey Lee, any retribution tonight? No retribution. And I don't give a flying you know what how many different ways different retribution members want to hop on social media and try to explain the common sense in them signing WWE contracts when they're talking about, we stand for the bullshit that's going on in this company. Yeah. These talents, all they care about is their money and getting these contracts. Yeah. And being in front of cameras. Yeah. So what would you do for a WWE contract? Would you kick your best friend in the balls? Hell no. What about kicking your friend in the balls while blindfolded? Well, okay. It's kind of one of those, what would you do for a WWE contract? So it's like, no, we would never do that. Well, we would never sign WWE contracts. What if we gave you an extra 0? Okay. It's like, I'll talk more about that on Monday, but there was no appearance by Retribution tonight. No appearance by Retribution. Are you disappointed? Are you frustrated? I know I am. Let's go to our next matchup because it's hit and miss with Retribution, man. It's hit and miss with those guys. Let's go to our next matchup. The tired ass Street Profits. Like the Street Profits now. I like them. But I will admit to you guys, this feud with Andrade and Garza, it has hurt their stock, in my honest opinion. And I could be totally wrong with that. But it's totally... Oh, let me get those images off, by the way. Let's get that Raw image off. Let's get that SmackDown image off. And let's get that Sami Zayn joint off there. Let's get that off there. Sorry about that. But no, this feud between the Street Profits, Andrade, and Garza, like for me personally, it has just, for the Street Profits, it has hurt their stock tremendously. And I gotta be candid with you guys. I love the Street Profits. Big fan of their stuff in NXT. And it's so funny too because, certain people, and I'm sure if you make your rounds, you'll see what I'm talking about. But certain people weren't fans of guys like Street Profits, fans of Bianca Belair, fans of insert whatever name, weren't fans of these people, weren't speaking and singing the high praises of these individuals when they were down in NXT, but then when you put them on the main roster, all of a sudden, they're the shit. I hope you're not just saying that because they're black. Well, yeah, I gotta support them because they're black, but they're the shit. And it's like, how do you know they're the shit when you didn't even watch their stuff down in NXT? Well, I like what I'm seeing of them so far here on the main roster. Well, that should really inspire you, motivate you, empower you more to check out what's going on in NXT, because how good is it? Just stop and think for a minute. How good is it to have those bragging rights to be able to say, man, I remember watching this talent when they were over here at blah, blah, blah. I watched them for the 2 years, the 3 years, the 4 years, the 5 years that they were down there. And now finally, here they are on the main roster. Oh, man. We need more voices like that. But Street Profits, I got a lot of respect for these guys. But this long, drawn-out fucking glitch in the Matrix feud with Andrade and Garza played out. Fucking played out. Right down to the point, the Street Profits, they've lost some of that mojo. They have significantly lost some of that mojo that they had from when they were down there in NXT. Just think about the way their segments and all that was laid out, their promos and everything. Just think about how all of that was laid out when they were down there in NXT. Now think about at least that first half. Think about those first 3 months that they were there. That's weird. It sounded like something fell. Think about those first 3 months that they were there on Raw. Yeah, everything was going good those first 90 days. And then all of a sudden, it just started to go a little downhill. And then we're doing stupid shit with the Viking Raiders there. Weren't they involved too with the ninjas? Yeah, the fucking ninja thing. God, I had erased that from my mind, and now I'm reminded all over again. So, yeah, man, they just... I hope this is the end of it. I really do. I truly hope that this is the end of it. Because I'm tired of seeing these guys lock it up. That's why I'm looking so forward to that draft even more. Even more. Because going into this draft, one thing I'm going to have in mind, especially when we get ready to do our mock draft version, I'm thinking about that tag team division. Because that tag team division needs a significant facelift. And look, Andrade Garza, I see more stock in Garza. I have more faith in Garza being a successful singles breakout star than I do with Andrade. Andrade, it's nothing personal against him. Nothing personal. You're talking to somebody that grew up on the Rey Mysterios, the Eddie Guerreros, the Tribal Classics and everything. Conan, so it ain't a race thing. It definitely is not a race thing. But Andrade's personality is bland as fuck. You take away the Zelena Vega. You take away the Andrade. What do you got? Besides a guy that is engaged to Charlotte Flair, what do you really got? And this guy's protected. This guy is protected for as long as him and Charlotte are an item. This guy's pretty much bulletproof, sadly. Because you rattle the fences of one guy, that's going to rattle the cage of another. So it's a delicate situation right there, man. But I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm just not seeing it. Average match. This wasn't something that, oh wow, well, even though we've seen the Street Profits, Andrade and Garza go at it 1,500,000, whatever. This time it was really different. And it was different because the Street Profits came out wearing purple. Ooh. Nah. Next up, Bayley. Bayley came out to address the fact that Nikki Cross would not be challenging her for the SmackDown Women's title. So Bayley decides she is going to have an open challenge to anyone that wants a shot at her title. Anyone. So who would answer that call? Now, I kind of talked a little bit about this again on the match prediction special. And I actually brought up the idea, I think it kind of sucks that NXT wasn't involved in this. It would have been nice to see NXT UK to a certain degree as well. Would have been nice to see those titles on the line as well. I also talked about how it would have been great to see Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai. Maybe they could, have some type of impromptu match, some type of open challenge. I actually said that along those lines. So it was kind of cool to see Bayley have an open challenge here. But the question, who would come out for that open challenge? Well, it would be none other than Asuka. Asuka came out for the open challenge. All right, so now you're going in here with the idea, okay, so we could possibly be seeing a double challenge here. Now, I would have loved to seen NXT get some love, and I would have loved to seen Io Shirai come out, or hell, Rhea Ripley come out, or the EST, Bianca Belair. I would have loved to seen her come out. But the more I thought about the fact that, okay, no, Asuka's out here. I'll give WWE this much of a nod. Storyline continuity. We think about the feud there between Asuka, Bayley, Sasha Banks. Okay, so we can give a little bit of credit here as far as the consistency goes, even though the commentators didn't really follow up and elaborate more on the history there. Those of us that have a pretty good memory, we know. We'll be at Pepperidge Farm. We remember. So the more I thought about it, I said, no, you know what? This is actually okay. I'm down with this. This is fine. Closing moments of this matchup. Asuka connected with a German suplex on the outside, but Bayley grabs a steel chair, connects with the steel chair, pretty much get a DQ. So she retains her title that way. Asuka wins, but title does not change hands on the DQ. Out of nowhere, Bayley gets attacked from behind with a chair by none other than Sasha Banks. Good little spot right there. And to the point of what Logan had said, Logan mentioning how one of his favorite parts of Clash was seeing Sasha return. It was okay for me. It was a good spot. I'm not going to say it was my favorite part of Clash. And here's the reason why. Because it's not as though Sasha Banks has been off WWE programming for several weeks now. We have seen Sasha Banks in some form when you stop and think about it. Stop and think about it. From the initial moment that Bayley turned on Sasha, we had what? Maybe a week that went by where Sasha was off TV, and then Sasha came right back. Bayley attacks again. Okay, maybe Sasha don't show up the following week. So it's been kind of a every other week type of deal with Sasha. To the point, I really wish that Sasha in storyline could have been off TV for several weeks. And this would have been the first time we've seen her since the betrayal. I really wish we could have gone in that direction. You definitely should have had Sasha off of TV. Honestly, the minute she got attacked, I don't think you should have done a follow-up with Sasha giving the interview and she's holding a neck brace and she's talking to Cole and them via satellite. You shouldn't have done all that. Just let the attack go down that first initial time when Bayley initiated it. Have Sasha be off until now. And then, okay, now let's pick up where we left off, essentially. But WWE, I'll give them this credit. They know that this is something that the fans have been wanting to see for quite some time. And with that in mind, okay, we're going to make you wait. We're going to make you earn this one as far as watching it. Yeah, you're going to have to wait for this one. We're going to tease you guys with this. I'm okay with this. And the way things are looking right now, everything seems to be culminating Hell in a Cell. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But again, Asuka defeating Bayley via disqualification. Sasha Banks got in her attacks here and there and everything. Bayley had grabbed the chair, kendo stick. It's a little bit of back and forth going on. Bayley ultimately retreated. So that pretty much was the end of that. You guys been enjoying the show so far? If you have been, do me a huge favor. Hit the like. Subscribe. Leave the comments. I love the interactions. I love hearing from everybody. It doesn't matter, black, white, male, female, you're from America or Australia, it doesn't matter. I love interacting with everybody, so make sure you're showing all of that love, okay? And also, friendly reminder, because we were reminded all throughout the night, this pay-per-view was being brought to us in part by the new game, WWE Battlegrounds. If you guys have not played that game yet, I did write up a review for it. You can check it out on my website, RCWRshow.com. Again, RCWRshow.com. You can check out the review. And before anybody asks, no, I do not have a QR code. I used my WWE Supercard QR code. Please stop asking me. Thank you. I'm Lee Sanders, and I endorse this message. Let's go to our next matchup. We got 2 matches left. By the way, I want to know what you guys thought about the pay-per-view tonight. So those of you that saw the pay-per-view, sound off. We got the poll on YouTube, youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the communities tab. Again, click on the communities tab, and you can vote that way. You can also vote on Twitter at the RCWR show. Again, Twitter at the RCWR show. Ambulance match for the WWE Championship. Randy Orton successfully retaining against the Viper, Randy Orton. Good match between the boys, but again, what really made this match was the cameos. That's what it was all about. It was the cameos. First cameo we got was Big Show. We got a clean-shaven Big Show. You guys that's checking out the web stream, this is how Big Show looked tonight at the pay-per-view. Gonna take me a while to get used to that look. I'm not sure if this is permanent or if he's doing this for a role or what. But he looks like a big old kid. That's what he looks like. He looks like it's a crossbreed. He looks like a big old kid. And he also looks a lot like King Kong Bundy. A lot like King Kong Bundy. Just scary. Scary to fucking resemblance. Very fucking scary. But we saw Big Show pop up early on in this match. He was actually grabbing onto the boot of Randy Orton. Randy Orton was thinking some pretty evil things he wanted to do to Drew McIntyre. But he felt somebody grabbing at his leg. He was curious what was going on. It was some rather tall, maxed individual. Guy takes off his mask and reveals himself to be the Big Show. Lays him out. Matter of fact, I think if I remember it right, after Big Show yanks him off the apron and everything, little rumble back and forth. I believe Big Show chokeslammed Orton through the announcer's table. And Big Show, feeling as though his job was done, he pretty much disappeared. You're going, okay, that was a nice little spot. Hey, Big Show, thanks for coming. But, you know, Big Show, if you really wanted to help a brother out, you could have just did the WMD and that would have sufficed too. Match really would have been over by then. But these guys, they continued on. Somehow this match had continued on despite the fact Big Show had did what he did. Eventually this action goes backstage where we're greeted by another cameo. And I'm not talking about the website and you can get people to say whatever for X amount of money. I mean cameos, little Easter eggs kind of thingamajigga. We got a cameo from Christian. Christian coming in there, getting him a taste of Randy Orton as well, putting a whooping on Randy Orton as well. You're going, okay, know the theme here. Anyway, I actually said this online. I said, is there any way we can get Brooklyn Brawler? That'd be a great cameo. Let's get Brooklyn Brawler out here. Let's see him tear it up real quick here. No Brooklyn Brawler, though. No fucking Brooklyn Brawler. So, again, that was backstage. Eventually, action comes back out. Guys are continuing to fight over by the ramp area. We saw a really sick-ass spot. I had the image, but I wasn't able to load it up in time. And y'all would just have to go on your respective social media platforms and look it up yourself. But there was one sick-ass spot where Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton were fighting on the hood of the ambulance. Randy Orton getting the upper hand, and he pretty much sends Drew McIntyre crashing back first into the windshield. And McIntyre had some serious lacerations. I mean, these lacerations, oof. I mean, two things. One, you go, okay, well, the glass, come Come on, you know. But then when you looked at McIntyre's back, you're going, okay, he's bleeding in several areas there. And you just can't help but knock on wood and say, well, look, at least no lacerations. Knock on wood. At least there was no lacerations. But his back was fucked up too. Two guys coming out of this really banged up tonight. McIntyre and Sami Zayn. So you see all of that go down and you're going, okay, looks like the tides are turning here for Randy Orton. Maybe Randy Orton is actually gonna fucking get this. Maybe he's actually gonna fucking get this. So the action continues on to the top of the roof of the ambulance. If I remember it right, McIntyre is still kind of laid out a little bit. Orton's trying to plot his next move and everything. Next thing you know, Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, climbs up, super kicks the shit out of Orton, shoves him off the ambulance, and you're going, holy shit, this is like seriously Retribution night, but without Retribution. You see what I did there? You see what I did there? You like that? You like that? We got Retribution without Retribution. Okay. So, at this point, McIntyre, he's back on his feet. He carries Orton towards the back door of the ambulance. Orton slides out of nowhere, hits an RKO on McIntyre. You're going, oh shit. McIntyre's head was exposed to concrete there. So you're going, okay, this is pretty much over then. This guy's got to be knocked out. Orton is grabbing a lifeless McIntyre, loading him up on the back of the ambulance, closes one door. He has to take that second door, and he's got to put that bad boy, he's got to close that too. That's the only way. Both got to be closed. Right when that second door was about to close, he had about maybe an inch left. McIntyre gets an arm out. Orton can't believe it. These two guys, they're continuing to go at it. McIntyre again successfully blocking the door. McIntyre rakes the eyes of Orton. And then from there, eventually sets him up for a Claymore. It's a pretty sweet ass Claymore. Some of the camera angles for tonight's pay-per-view, I gotta say, by the way, a couple of weird fuck finishes too. You're looking at one spot, particularly when you go back to the Street Profits taking on Andrade and Pepe Le Pew Garza. That's what I call him, Pepe Le Pew Garza. When you go to that match and you look at when Angelo Dawkins had connected with the, oh God, I had the name of that move of his. What's he calling it? The high point? I can't remember what he calling it. But when he did it and then he went for the cover, you get the one, you get the two, you get the, and clear as day, you see a kick out and you're going, well, wait a minute here. Yet the ref counted 3 in the match. You see all these different angles and you're going, yeah, he clearly fucking kicked out in time. What the hell? It was nice to hear the Corey Graves and them say, the ref messed up. The ref messed up. So I guess we kind of have a continuation of Street Profits, Andrade and Pepe Le Pew Garza. Yeah, just marinate on that. But yeah, that was a bit, sloppy. Some of the stuff that happened during this match was a bit sloppy. There was definitely one Claymore kick. You see, if not both, for sure one of them, clear as day. Yeah, that was no kick. I mean, you just see the fucking wide gap of space. Here's your opponent, and here's the kick. And you're going, yeah, somehow that doesn't really compute there. How are we define physics with that one? But second Claymore kick connects with that, loads him up. McIntyre loads up Randy Orton in the back of the ambulance, closes the door successfully. That's it. Match is over. However, we would get one more cameo. And that cameo would be by the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who was in the driver's seat of the ambulance and drove that bad boy off. Now, you know what? I'm a little disappointed that my man Keith Lee wasn't involved in this, because I would have loved, and God, I really wish we would have seen Keith Lee out here, because to a degree, it just kind of felt as though he still had unfinished business with McIntyre and with Orton. And I don't know if maybe you could have made the argument, okay, well, maybe this needs to be a triple threat match for the title coming up at the next pay-per-view. But it really would have been nice to see some type of a cameo by Keith Lee. Hell, maybe even get him on the pre-show even. Would have been nice to get him as well. But that pretty much was it. I said we had 2 more matches to talk about, but we opened up talking about the Universal Championship match. So unless there's something more you guys want me to add to that Universal Championship match, there really isn't. Now, going back to that ambulance match, I mean, that was such a serious ass whooping that Randy Orton took there, man. I can't help but go, okay, so at this point, is Randy Orton now off of TV for the next couple of weeks? You know, you just can't help but wonder that, because you also got to say to yourself, okay, so what's next for McIntyre? Is McIntyre officially done with Randy Orton? You know, what's next for him? And it just kind of feels to me as though maybe, just maybe, Retribution may be in the cards for McIntyre. And again, this is where that roster, that draft, this is where things really need to be shaken up big time. Needs to be shaken up big time. I would not be surprised if AJ Styles comes back to Monday Night Raw. I'm letting you guys know that right now. I would not be surprised if he gets put back on there. I would not be surprised if Cesaro even is maybe going to be Raw bound. But we'll dive a lot more into that on Monday's show. Look, overall, with regards to this pay-per-view tonight, I would say for this whole WWE Thunderdome experience so far, I would say this was WWE's best pay-per-view. As far as the Thunderdome experience, and when I also think about these times that we're in right now with this pandemic, I would say all of that, under all of those circumstances, this was probably their best pay-per-view so far. The Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, that really stole the show, I personally feel. Great storytelling. Love the character development there in Roman Reigns. Great shit is right there. Jey, great opponent. Great video package, too, that they had put together for Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. That was really good. Also, the triple threat ladder match for the IC title. Just a sweet spot right there with the handcuff going through the earlobe. Good shit. Good shit. The cameos by Big Show, Christian, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. Loved all of that. Loved all of that. Good shit right there. Not feeling the fact that Retribution just pretty much disappeared. By the way, you know, we saw all those cameos by those guys. You know, and I know we're trying to practice social distancing and all that, but all those great cameos in that ambulance match, and yet somehow all 4 of these guys don't come together unanimously along with Drew McIntyre to beat the holy fucking shit out of Randy Orton. I mean, how do you explain that one? I would have at least loved to see all 4 guys pop up, or rather, no, minus Ric Flair. I would have loved to see the rest of the guys pop up, and Drew just says to him, "Boys, I appreciate what you did for me. I won't forget it. Neither will the fans. Thank you so much. I can take it from here." They're like, "All right, man. See you at the hotel for drinks." You know, they disappear, and then you could have ended it with Ric Flair. I would have loved to at least seen something like that, but that was just really kind of weird what was going on there. But still, I popped for the cameos. Good pay-per-view. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Good pay-per-view. Damn good pay-per-view. I'd probably scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the shit, 10 being awesome sauce. I would probably give this pay-per-view, probably under the circumstances, 2. Some of your matches had to be shuffled around there. I would give it a 8 out of 10. Thumbs up for sure, but I would give it a 8 out of 10. Let's see what you guys had to say about the pay-per-view. Let's go to Twitter here. Looking at the polling results here. Let's see what we got for the polling results here. Shout out to those of you that's watching the stream live on Twitter/Periscope. Also watching live on YouTube and on Twitch. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. I'm still going through some previous tweets, so bear with me a second here. There we go. Let's see. All right. So amongst our own RCWR show followers on Twitter, 13% of you are giving the pay-per-view a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 87% of you are giving it a thumbs up. Now, we also gave that same poll to WWE followers on Twitter. 15% gave the pay-per-view a thumbs down. 85% gave the pay-per-view a thumbs up. Thank you to those of you who voted. You didn't vote yet. Continue to cast your vote. Let's go to YouTube now, and let's see what you guys had to say about the pay-per-view here. Over on YouTube, again, you can vote. Communities tab, rcwrshow.com. Click on the Communities tab, vote that way. Still early votes coming in on YouTube, but I'm seeing 20% are giving the pay-per-view a thumbs down, while 80% are giving the pay-per-view a thumbs up. So pretty consistent there as far as the thumbs up and everything. I would be shocked to hear of a good amount of people really crapping on this, because overall there was a lot of effort made to really bring a pretty good pay-per-view. I think they delivered tonight, because again, they realized all the competition that was out there tonight. A lot of real estate there for those age demographics that WWE was trying to tap into and everything. Hey, before we get ready to go and bow out, we do got some shout outs we need to get into, so definitely want to get into those shout outs. Give our good kind friends, familia, a lot of love, because that's what we do. That's what we do on the show, man. First off, shout out to our Patreon members, patreon.com/RCWR show. Check out bonus audio, video content, exclusive new shows, loads of great stuff you won't be able to find anywhere else. $5 get you in. Little as $5 a month get you all the access, man. So do sign up. Patreon.com/RCWR show. Shout out to Patreon members Gino Morgan, Gino. Shout out to Justin Ripstock. Shout out also to Rawl. Shout out to John Davis. Shout out to Michael Wolf. Shout out to Tony Bean Gaming. You want the very latest in all things Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel's Avengers. Tony Bean Gaming, tips, tricks, news, walkthroughs, reviews. He's on YouTube. You can find him at the handle Tony Bean Gaming. He has a Patreon paywall as well. Check him out when you get a chance. Also, I want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors. We have been very blessed. We've been very fortunate to work with a decent amount of subscribers, sponsors these past several weeks. And I got to show these guys a lot of love, because these sponsors combined with our Patreon members, they make content like what you're checking out right now continue to be free for you all to access. So these guys are all combined. They're the heartbeat. They pretty much keep it going, man, because trying to maintain a website, trying to make sure I got a subscription for this network, trying to order this pay-per-view and this and this and this. All of these guys combined, they help out tremendously, man. Shout out to Op.TV. If you're ready to cut the cable, then Op.TV can help. Low prices beginning at just $6 a month. You heard me right. Use the promo code RCWR show to receive 20% off any product you select at checkout. Also, shout out to my good man, Contel Bradford. He's got a new book out. It's called Thug Nation. Fresh out of the pen, a decorated street veteran hits the streets full of hope and uncertainty. Gerald knows he has to blaze a better trail for his daughter, but he has one particular set of skills and it pays more than any felon-friendly 9-to-5 can bring to the table. As adrenaline pumps and blood flows, he finds himself wrestling with the most fiercest of all demons, himself. Because old habits can die hard, yo. Pick up your copy of Thug Nation. It's on Amazon, Smashwords, and wherever else books are sold. Also want to give a shout out to Winfield. That's the first and last name, Winfield. They've got their debut novel that's out, Cult of the Eclipse. Searching for her runaway child, Jacqueline Ellsworth is no relation to James Ellsworth, by the way, is led into the derelict parts of western Pennsylvania after hearing of the supposed miracles of tech industrialist Anthony Charles. She suspects her child is taken by the surrounding cult, but as she winds up in the rundown township of Dormsburg, its practices turn more sinister and grotesque by the hour. The cult's leader is about to return, as horrifying rituals are hidden behind the walls and under the streets. As Jacqueline tries to escape, she discovers why this place seems so familiar. Pick up Cult of the Eclipse, Winfield's explosive debut, delivering electrifying horror, delusion, surreal thriller. Check it out. That is available in paperback or in Kindle edition on Amazon. Check that out when you guys get a chance. Also, we got a couple of new sponsors I want to hit up and show some love to. Just two that I want to give a shout out to real quick here, because these guys literally had hit me up and wanted to know if I could do something for them on this particular show. First off, I want to give a shout out to the good kind folks over at Real Time Products. You may have actually heard about this. This is something that George Foreman actually endorses. And when I heard about this, I said, well, wait a minute. If it's good enough for George Foreman, I got to check this out myself, and I got to see what's up. So if you're like me and you happen to be an essential worker, you know how physical and demanding the job can be on a day-to-day basis. And as you get older, your body starts to really kick in with the aches and pains. And that's the position that I found myself to be in. The icy hots just wasn't doing it. The back rubs wasn't doing it for me as well. My girl's going, honey, you may need surgery. I don't know. You may need surgery. I'm going, nah, it shouldn't have to come to that. And I heard about the good kind people over at Real Time Products. I'm like, George Foreman's endorsing this. Let me see what's going on. So they hooked me up, and I feel pretty damn good. I gotta tell you, I feel pretty damn good. These guys offer really great pain relief lotion. That's basically what it is. You can knock out the pain with Real Time Pain Relief Lotion. It's a lotion/cream. Smells great. It's got natural ingredients and everything. It works great for muscle strains, backaches, even arthritis. Knock it out. Check it out. You can find that, and you can find more great non-chemical pain relief, skincare, and beauty products. You can even find PPE products at this unique URL that I'm going to provide to you, because the original one was pretty wordy. Y'all would not remember it. tinyurl.com/real-time products. Again, tinyurl.com/real products. Check that out, and you're welcome, because I know you'll definitely be thanking me later. Last but not least, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor in parrotautotrader.co.uk. Again, parrotautotrader.co.uk, where they say there is no better platform in the world to search for vehicles. That is why Parrot Auto Trader UK and Parrot Auto Trader Global attract serious-minded vehicle sellers and buyers around the globe. Whether consumers are researching at home or browsing, Parrot Auto Trader UK and Global provides more high-quality leads to your dealership floor than the competition anywhere in the world. We also reward sellers on our platform monetarily. That also generates thousands to their wallets after referring their friends and family to our platform. Parrot Auto Trader leads and others follow in the world of automotive marketplaces. Visit them today at parrotautotrader.co.uk. One more time, parrotautotrader.co.uk. Shout out to all of these great sponsors and our Patreon members. Like I said, they're the backbone. They keep us going, man. Without them, like, things would be a lot more difficult. I will definitely tell you that. So, your next edition of the RCWR show, that's going to be coming at you guys handful of hours, pretty much after WWE Raw goes off the air. I will be back here in this seat, in this studio, in front of this microphone once again. Should be a solid edition of Monday Night Raw. So I hope, I'm legit excited to see what's going to happen. So we'll see. We'll sprinkle in some headlines as well. We're going to get into the whole mock draft as well. So a lot to look forward to on Monday's show. Patreon members, I'm going to be sitting down. I got to clean up the audio and all that. I got to release the episode of Impact Showdown for you guys that need that Impact Wrestling fix. I haven't forgotten about you guys. I just got to sit down and clean up the audio. So that'll be coming to you guys in a hot minute. And other than that, yeah, back to business as usual. You know, as far as the Wednesday Night War goes, Wednesdays are still not mine. So we're going to have to work around that. I think at this point, it's safe to say probably, if not a Thursday show, a Friday show where we'll talk about NXT, AEW, and all that. But at least you guys get me on Monday, live in the flesh, right? If you're going to be looking for the audio version of this, do hang tight. I will have the audio version of this be available. Give me about 30 to 45 minutes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. Check out the review that I did, by the way, for WWE Battlegrounds. You can check it out on the website, rcwrshow.com. Trying to get back into the habit of writing more editorial pieces and all that. Get back into the swing of things. So check that out when you guys get a chance. And please, once again, if you enjoyed the episode, leave the likes. Subscribe, comment, follow, all that good stuff. Really helps out tremendously. I love staying in contact, love interacting with my listeners and followers. All right. Much love, everybody. Until next go around, wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. Take care.